Hello there and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to bust some manifestation myths very, very easily, very, very simply, because there are no rules. Come on, my invincibles, repeat after me. There are no rules in manifestation unless I, as the God of my reality, as the I am, create them. There's no need to break the rules because that means you have to create them in order to break them. So why throw in that extra step? And we are specifically going to bust the manifestation myth of don't focus on how or when. Because if you're the God of your reality, why can't you focus on how or when? Why are we going to allow something again? Because it kind of brings in that feeling of separation that, okay, I can ask, my character asks, and then, the God part of me is going to reply, and I can't ask for a certain way, how or when, because why? It's not my job. Like, either I'm the God of my reality or not. And in the manifestation community, there's a lot of well-meaning coaches, YouTube channels, and I will say this, that whatever the teacher is teaching, whatever the guide, the coach is teaching, they truly believe that it's that way. And my wish for you is that if you're following a coach or a creator, that they're living what it is that they speak. They're just not repeating what others have said. This is from their personal experience. So here on this channel, you're going to get my personal experience. And I have so many different ways to share my personal experience, what being a trained interrogator has taught me about the subconscious mind and manifestation, as a personal trainer and nutritionist, as a mom, as a ninth degree Reiki grandmaster, lots of different perspectives of this. But when you have those different perspectives, you start to see the consistency. But what I'm going to say to you, it's not about what I share here, unless you want to adopt it as your own and give yourself the experience of it. It's not about what the other coaches say, because there's wonderful, wonderful coaches out there. Here in the Invincible CEO, welcome, by the way, to the Wish Fulfilled Playground. And we do have our sister channel, Invincible You. It's a brand new channel, different type of format, bringing the manifestation concept into experience for you over there. And if you want to work with me, and I know that you do, I help you get clear. I help you make clear, concise, conscious choices in the now moment. And then we anchor in deeply to that wish fulfilled. So you'll never question again, am I doing it right? Why can't I say the time frame that I want it in, right? So let's take a little bit of a step back here. And so, okay, let me get this straight. As a human being, I can walk into a restaurant, sit down. I love using the restaurant analogy, but it's one I know that you get because you've done it. I know the majority of the people watching this video will have some type of experience where you go into the restaurant, you sit down with whomever you're there with, they hand you a menu, you look at all the options, and you get real specific. You just don't say, give me some food. What would they know to bring you, right? So they would ask you to be specific. Do you want an appetizer? Do you want a salad? Do you want a main course? Do you want dessert? Because all your reality is doing all day long is giving you offerings. So as a human being, as a character in a script, I can go into the script, be given a menu, pick specific things, and not only pick the specific things, but then I can even say how I want them cooked. Or even sometimes, if I'm being picky, I could ask for something on the side to cook it a little different than it would normally be cooked. And then I expect it within a certain time frame while I'm still there. I'm not ordering it for tomorrow, I'm ordering it for now, that it's going to be brought out to me. And not only is it going to be brought out to me, it's going to be exactly how I asked for it and within a certain expected time frame. So I can do that as a human, but then I come into the manifestation world and now I'm being told, okay, you're the God of your reality. Now I take that very seriously, right? Because to me, it's like I'm the author of the book. I'm the creator of the video game. I'm, the owner of the business. So if I'm the author of the book, then I can put in anything I want. I can create any characters. I can make it at any time. I could create different, I could do anything. And I would expect that whatever I write in my book is exactly what I get back when the book is published. I wouldn't expect my words to be changed. I wouldn't expect my characters to be changed because I'm the author of the book. If I compose music, I expect my music to sound exactly how I composed it. So I can do that. But now that I'm the god of my reality, and I take this very, very seriously, but not seriously, but seriously, like, okay, you're giving me God power. And when I realized that, I realized through my awareness, because all God power is expanded awareness, that there are no rules, that all realities have their rules of engagement and terms and conditions, just like when you go into a business and you sign up for whatever service, you agree to the terms and conditions. You're going into that reality. You're not the creator of that thing. So you're abiding by what the creator has created and how it is delivered and how you're going to engage with it. So you'll create your terms and conditions, but they're not rules. So whenever you're in 3D reality and you're moving around and you're policing yourself, or you think you're going to get in trouble for breaking the rules, well, as a rule breaker, I'm telling you, and you're a rule breaker when you're just learning this, and it's going to feel like you're at any moment you're going to get sent to the principal's office, until it doesn't, until you get tired of that nonsense too. But there are no rules. If I'm the god of my reality, either I'm the god of my reality or I'm not. And I know that some teachers will say, well, you're the character, but it has bigger and better ways. And there are times where I don't mind it coming sooner if I have a time frame. And there's certain times in my world where my time frames are my time frame and it has to be at that time. And then there's certain times that I don't care if it's a little bit after. It really doesn't affect me one way or the other, but I don't want it to be too far after. So early is always wonderful. On time is perfect. And it could be a day or two late most of the time, unless there's something specific going on. But now I finally get to do this, but I can't ask or specifically say when or how. Okay, why? So I'm going to go into a restaurant, I'm going to specifically order something and then accept it when they come out and say to me, well, we have that on the menu, we have all the ingredients, but you really need this instead, so we're going to give you this. No, I wouldn't allow that for anything else. So I decided to take a really big step back and take a look at this. And I want you to also, because when you get on my calendar, and if we're going to meet on Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time, I expect you to be there. You expect me to be there, whether we're on Zoom or WhatsApp. And we expect to have a session and it to be a certain amount of time, right? Because that's the rules of engagement that we agreed to. And when you expect to get exactly what it is that you asked for, I'll let my mind bring in variations, but I will not allow it to bring in half manifestations. It can make me an offering to something that I may have not known that could have been a way. And I'm open. I'm not saying that I'm not open to it coming a different way, but it must serve me. So if I do want something by a certain date, because in my realities, I agree to certain dates and I agree to show up for certain things at certain dates or make certain payments for something or whatever I agree to, when I know that I'm doing it in my reality and I do it on time or earlier, then if I'm the leader of my energy, and if we're going to still break things into subconscious mind and conscious mind, and as the conscious version of all of this, walking around the 3D template, knowing that my subconscious would never say no to me because it can't, because I'm the eyes, I'm the ears, I'm the smell, I'm the taste, I'm the touch, because the subconscious, if there was one, but we don't really even have to do that anymore, it relies on me for the feedback of what's needed. And if I'm in a script that has a deadline and I want to see that play out, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I keep that deadline? Because otherwise it would be chaos, because then I wouldn't know where to show up to have an appointment, whether it's here coaching, or if I'm going to go and train someone somewhere else, or if I'm meeting a friend for lunch. If we don't have these specific times and dates, and because it's all location, that's all time is. It's a locator, it's a dimension. If I ask you to meet me at Broad and Walnut in Philadelphia, not tomorrow because we're having our victory parade, but if I asked you to meet me at Broad and Walnut at noon in Philly tomorrow, or not tomorrow, I just said that, didn't I? On Monday for lunch, the time is a locator. It allows you to understand with clarity, clear, concise, conscious choices. And then we decide how we're going to get there and how we're going to engage. There are no rules. There are no rules to break unless you make them. But when I hear these other channels saying you're the God of your reality, but you can't dictate when and how, if you're going to step into your God power, you got to go all in. And you trust. That's the only way you learn how to trust, because I can't trust someone that if I say to them, hey, I need to get this from you, and they say, okay, well, I may or may not get it to you on this date and time, but I'll eventually get it to you. And I may not get it to you the way that you think that I will, but I may get it to you somewhere else. I don't want to do business with that. But when you, as the core, are solid in what you chose, and if you're sitting here saying, well, it's been this long since I have this, I've been doing this for this many months or this many years, and it's still not here, you don't have a time problem. You don't have a how problem. You just contradicted yourself. That's a contradiction problem. You're getting instant manifestation of that, because manifestation is instant. So if you're telling the story, it's been this long and I don't have it, and you should be working with a coach that understands that, because there is only now, and you can put into motion, right? If I'm going to book a flight to Florida from 2 weeks from today, it will eventually become my now, and that's when I'll have the experience of it. So we can use those future placeholders, location holders, as expectation of what will be there when we get there. I expect if I book a flight on a certain airline to go to that airline on that day, I do the rules of engagement, going through the security, all the things that I'm supposed to do, playing out my character's role to be part of it. And I expect my seat to be reserved for me, and I expect to get on that plane, and I expect that plane to go to its location. And I have a thing built into my reality that every single plane that I'm on is always a minimum of 15 minutes early. A minimum of 15 minutes early, right? Because this is something, it might have been observation in the beginning, or it might be me commanding my reality, but I always do it when I'm there. And I always affirm it even before I get on the plane. I will text whoever I'm texting, going, I will text you when I land, expect it to be 15 minutes early. So I'm now stepping into it, and it's predictive programming. And I don't have any doubt, because it's all me. This is all me. I have a video on the channel, and I will link it below. And it made me realize it was all me, but I didn't catch it right away, but I caught it eventually, where I was staying at a client's condo, and it was the night before I was to leave. And this is how powerful we are. And I was going for my nighttime walk at the beach, because it was up like a block away. And when I was there, because I've been going for the sunrise, I wanted one more sunrise at the beach. But looking at my timeframes of when I would have to leave to go to the airport and return the car, I felt like it would be rushed, because I want to see the sunrise. So I said, while I was there and I was walking back from the beach, I said, I really wish I had this extra hour. And by the time I got to the door to the building, I had a text come in that said that my flight is delayed an hour. And I'm like, am I in the Truman Show? Like, it was that quick. So while briefly editing the video, I realized it was way too long. So the complete story, I'm going to link the video on the channel so you can go in and listen to the complete story. This is what the thumbnail looks like. So thank you, and we're going to continue on with today's message. So when I tell you there are no rules, that it's you, and I'm going to be setting up a date probably within the next month where I'm going to do like a webinar experience. I call it the water to wine, how I can take you, and this is going to be a live masterclass experience where I'm going to suggest that you have a certain soda, and we're going to have different cups, and I'm going to show you in real time how everything comes from the same source, but we can change what it tastes like in real time. It's like water into wine. And you're going to see how quickly you're shifting to the reality, because we're really not changing it. We're just shifting our consciousness from the reality where it's one way to the reality where it's another, because you exist in all realities. So to say that you can't be specific and there's these rules of not how and when, what I normally do when I'm doing my imaginal acts, I put in a couple different hows, and then I'm open to it being something totally different. I am open to that. But why can't it come the way that I want it to come? And why can't it come on a time frame? Because I'm literally creating it all. If I have a deadline on Tuesday next week, I created it. It wasn't that it was there and I stepped into it. It was already created for me to show me that whatever I choose to engage with, and I understand this will unfold this way. So what really is the point of awareness for you when there is a deadline, whether you set it or it's something you're engaging with that's already set for you, or whoever wants to play with that, like the masterclass that I'm going to do, you came for the experience, and you can let go of trying to make it happen, because when you are clear, concise, and conscious when you make the choice, all of this other stuff that bogs you down and you're uncertain and you're unclear, they're just different characters you're playing. The unclear you never gets clear. The uncertain you is never certain. So then your consciousness knows when you are certain, right? When you decide, you're clear, concise, and conscious when you make a choice. And you hear this term of persisting in your wish fulfilled. You don't persist in your wish fulfilled to get something. You persist because you made a clear, conscious, certain choice. And that's very different. You don't persist to get. You persist because the moment that you chose it clearly, consciously, certainly, that it's done. So when you have all these questions in this middle that you're creating, and this middle is just time and space for you to work this out amongst yourself, but you're creating it in the now moment. Because when I ask for something at the restaurant, I expect to get exactly that. I don't contradict myself. That I was seeing how quickly what I was conjuring within myself was starting to get pushed out. And when we do this masterclass, you're going to be blown away at how your mind, how quickly you will shift to realities that we will command that soda to do something different than what it normally is. You will be blown away. So if that's always happening now, like there's this pulse of this now moment, like your heartbeat that's going out, and you start doubting, doubt can only come in when you weren't certain. And all you have to do is get certain right now. So I don't persist in my wish fulfilled because I want to get something, because then I'm persisting in the wish fulfilled that I want to get something. It's really very obvious. I persist in my wish fulfilled because I have it. And you say, well, I don't know how to do that, Dede. Yeah, you do. Stop speaking against yourself like that. No more bullshit that way. No more. It's not tolerated here. Because you persist in your wish fulfilled of the house that you're in. You persist in the wish fulfilled of the car that you drive. You persist in the wish fulfilled that you have the phone that you have. Not to get it. You're not getting your phone. You're not getting your car. You're not getting your house. It keeps showing up because right now you expect it to be there. But you are the reason. So you stop looking at the out there to give you reasons for things, because then you have to be the rules that it gives you. You're so talented and so powerful, you don't even know the things that you've been taught are just this, but it's really a power, a mad skill that you have. This is why you're never going to talk against yourself again. So if there are other coaches out there and they're saying, don't worry about the how and the when, and that feels good to you, knock your socks off. But what happens is that when you do learn to stay certain, because that's all it is in the I am that you are, in the powerful God that I am, because I said so, and this is all me, then why would I create a reality of a deadline that I didn't get unless that was my choice? And sometimes we don't realize, well, Dede, I had a deadline and the deadline passed. That's the reality you were in. It always announces itself. You thought you were in the reality of your choice of doing it, getting it, receiving it before the deadline, but you contradicted yourself. And well, then how do I not contradict myself? You have the right to remain silent. Once you choose, right? Once I order from the waiter, as long as I don't contradict myself, I expect my stuff to come out exactly like it is that I ordered it. And I can be that specific. There are times where I'm more general. But either you're the creator, you're the God of your reality or not. And if you keep giving this thing, splitting your mind up into conscious mind and subconscious mind, and you're giving the subconscious mind all the power, well, I tell this to my clients all the time. Either reality is your bitch or your its, right? It either has you trained or you train it. But you can't play two sides of the same coin. And all the now moment is letting you know where your consciousness is. I'm in black jacket reality right now. I have to make a different choice to change me from being in black jacket reality. And it is a clear conscious choice that I made. And at any time during the day, I can be a rebel and take the jacket off. I don't even have to put another jacket on. But I can't be upset that I'm in black jacket reality when I'm the one in the now moment that has the power to remove the jacket. You have the power to remove any of these nonsense type of rules. And we don't even want to be rule breakers, because then that means you created, unless you want to create a rule to break it, knock your socks off. I mean, what you do in your reality is your business. But when you go to type something, when you go to share something and comment here, before you hit enter, pause, the power of the pause, and look at what you wrote or listen to what you just said. If hitting enter is sending that out, speaking it out, it will duplicate itself. It will go viral and just keep duplicating and replicating until you tell it otherwise. Do you want more of that? And in that moment of realization and awareness, because the more aware you are, the less time and space is needed, because it's all now. And if you listen to another coach and they have restrictions on how they manifest, it is absolutely true for them, or they're hearing it from someone else. But I'm telling you that as the God creator, because you're not going to give me a role like that and then tell me I can't do something, because then I'm not the God creator, because there's something else dictating stuff to me. And even from a very young age, I did not like arbitrary rules. And in my mind, I can't tell you how many times I said, you're not the boss of me. You're not the boss of me. There are no rules unless you put them on yourself, and not be afraid in your own imagination. Because even though in the past you may have created some things that you don't want, that was when you weren't consciously aware. Clear, concise, certain choices now. Because when you do that, right, that's why we have ceremonies like weddings. It's very clear, concise choice that you made, and you invited a whole bunch of people to see that choice played out. But if you contradict it, and you contradict the choice with more certainty than the choice itself, and your mind knows you because it is you, because there's no separation. That's the other thing. That's the last point I'll make. If there's a deadline that I need by Tuesday, I'm not separate from it. So really what it comes down to, if there's the deadline, do I want to stay in a reality where there's a deadline? Do I want to be in the reality where it comes before the deadline? Do I want the reality where it becomes on the deadline? Or do I want the reality where it becomes after the deadline? And there's many variations of all of them. So when I'm given a deadline and I accept that I'm going to engage, then I know that I'm going to have everything I need. And if I want it a certain way, I know I will get it that way. And if it's one of those things, it's not a big deal. However it shows up, I'm fine with that too. But the one thing I don't do is allow the subconscious mind that can only say yes to give it the power that it can override me, because all it can do is say yes. So if I don't get it by the deadline, that's the reality I'm in. So what do I do between the clear, concise choice and the deadline? I remind myself, it's all part of the unfolding. I'm never, and I know I haven't contradicted myself. So every single little thing, every burp and cough, stub my toe, money comes in, whatever's going on, it's all part of the unfolding of that reality. And the one thing that I know is I always get what I want. I always get what I want. I get what I want, when I want it, how I want it, unless I allow for variation. And that's what makes me very different as a coach. Stop listening to that you don't have to do the how and when. But if you decide to do the how and when, then you get clear so that you don't drive yourself crazy with contradiction. All right, my friends, thank you so much for being here. Remember, persistence isn't persistence in a choice to get it. It's persistence that the moment you made the clear, concise choice, you have it. You have it. And you persist like you persist on the things you already have. So you start speaking like you have it. You start going and engaging with it like you have it. So the more that you're moving like you have it, your subconscious mind says yes, 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 yes. I just think of the When Harry Met Sally restaurant scene. There we go, back to restaurants again. Anyway, all right, guys, I know this was helpful. I want you to tell me how helpful it was, and then I want you to get on my calendar, because there's no reason why you don't have your manifestations. And 1 to 3 sessions, maybe not even. Maybe this video is enough. But why delay it another second? Until I see you again, I'm Dede Powerniak, the Invincible CEO. This is the Wish Fulfilled Playground, because life is just one big Wish Fulfilled Playground. And our other sister channel, a video went up earlier today, Invincible You. It's all in the description box. I look forward to seeing you on screen, on the phone, however we're going to do this together. But we are going to get you your wish fulfilled. Enjoy.